Let's bring in former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. He is also the American Foreign Policy Institute Chair for Homeland Security and Immigration. Thank you so much for talking to us, Chad, on this Memorial Day. I got to just ask one obvious question, and that is, how does a gunman even get close enough to a security checkpoint near the White House in the first place?
Well, it's a pretty open environment there in D.C. Obviously, as you approach that White House, as they approach the White House, you'll have multiple layers of security. And so it sounds like he first approached there at 17th and Pennsylvania, where you have a pretty hefty Secret Service response and the number of officers. But your question is a good one in the sense of he obviously came into the district with a firearm of some kind. And was able to traverse his way all the way into that checkpoint. And so it's a good question. You got to look at how he got the firearm and a number of other things in his background.
Yeah, and we know that there's a number of checkpoints, but the question is then, should the White House perimeter be widened?
Well, I think that's always the question. Look, you know, the best security is you push that White House perimeter out for miles, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously that doesn't really work in downtown D.C., where you have office building, you have people going to work every day. It becomes very, very difficult. So they've got a good perimeter. They've got a good sort of blanket around the White House. Obviously, anytime one of these situations unfold, there's never really any danger to an individual inside that White House because you have to get past multiple security checks, gates, and other things to actually get onto the White House compound. So while, yes, it's close to the White House, the White House itself and the occupants inside, including the president, the vice president, and others, are very, very secure and safe.
Okay, so law enforcement officials say that the suspect had previous run-ins with the Secret Service and appeared to struggle with mental health problems. In fact, in the last year, 3 different separate issues, which begs the question, how did this guy come anywhere close to the White House? And what more needs to be done to keep track of what are known potential threats? I mean, this wasn't a stranger from law enforcement. This guy had a track record.
Yeah. Again, a good question. Look, the Secret Service, unfortunately, gets a number of these types of threats, and so they obviously catalog them, they log them. They try to understand who is making the threats. They will go out and visit these individuals and eventually turn them over to local law enforcement to deal with and to take the necessary steps if they need to. If they're truly, truly an imminent threat, obviously they'll take their own action. So it is a shared responsibility between the Secret Service and local law enforcement wherever these individuals reside in, because Secret Service will get threats all over the country, all over the world against the president, and they have to address these and determine which ones are more imminent than others. Obviously, anyone can make a threat, but only certain individuals like this and others, I think, are willing and capable of taking certain actions.
All right, I'm going to switch gears now. Got to talk about the Department of Homeland Security. They are touting more than 3 million illegal immigrant departures as border crossings dropped 94% under Trump. What's your reaction to those numbers?
Well, it's historic. The president really doesn't, and his administration doesn't get enough credit for the situation that they cleaned up along that border when they came into office. The Biden border crisis was the worst crisis that had ever hit our country as far as our borders. You know, obviously they never called it a crisis, but the Trump administration came in and cleaned that up in a matter of months, and now you have over a 95% reduction in apprehensions along that southern border. No more catch and release. The American people are safe, and you see the violent crime from illegal aliens also reducing. So it's really just a success of really epic proportions here. And we sometimes sort of forget about the success, you know, just last year and look towards all the challenges that they have. But the Trump administration deserves a lot of credit for what they dealt with and how they've come out on top here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to see. Chad Wolf, great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.